It definitely seems to be looking like it's going to be Timothée Chalamet's year at the award season next year because Marty Supreme is indeed the real deal. The movie reigns supreme. A corny ass joke, I know, but let me get into it. Let me get into it. So this is the new A24 film directed by Josh Safdie, who is one half of the Safdie brothers. The Safdie brothers this year said, hey, let's see who makes the better movie. Benny Safdie makes The Smashing Machine. Josh Safdie makes Marty Supreme. Two sports movies about underdogs. And I kind of want to say that I'm leaning one way with the Safdie divorce one way, but I'm not going to tell you exactly what. Maybe you should watch both of my reviews. But let's talk about Marty Supreme, which comes out Christmas Day. If you already didn't know from Timothée Chalamet's brilliant marketing,
Supreme Christmas Day on Marty Supreme Christmas Day. Marty Supreme Christmas Day. Hey, Timothy, has anything interesting happened to you in your life the last couple months? Marty Supreme Christmas Day.
this has been one of the more fun marketings I've seen for a movie in a long time. Although I do have my way of thinking of how A24 and Neon are sort of marketing their studios like almost the way that people ridicule like Marvel and things like that. That's a whole other video, but stay tuned for that. I do really appreciate what they're doing at Marty Supreme because this is a movie that's going to be a hard sell for people. Because of course, if you're chronically online or keeping up with movies like I am, it's okay, admit it. We are excited for this movie, but the average person out there, they hear they're making a movie about a guy who wants to be a ping pong master. They're going to be like, I'm gonna go watch that on Christmas Day. I'm gonna go watch Zootopia, which of course, Zootopia, great film and all of that. I'm telling you, it's going to be a hard sell for the average moviegoer to be like, you know what, let's give this movie a chance with Timothée Chalamet, who of course is pretty big on the internet, and I would say more people are kind of like in the know of who he is, but it's not a DiCaprio, it's not a Brad Pitt, a Jennifer Lawrence, an Emma Stone. It's going to be a bit of a harder sell, and we've seen already with Jennifer Lawrence's Die My Love and Emma Stone's Begonia, which have been successful critically and all of that, but seemingly commercial-wise are still getting there. So that's going to be a hard sell, but I am here to tell you, if you're on the fence and thinking, should I watch this movie or not? Yes, indeed, go watch this. The movie stars Timothée Chalamet. You also have Gwyneth Paltrow, Odessa A'zion, Kevin O'Leary, Tyler Okonma, otherwise known as Tyler the Creator, Abel Ferrara, and Fran Drescher. And let me just get this out of the way so you know or not to watch the rest of the review. If you were a fan of Good Time, if you're a fan of Uncut Gems, this is pretty much up your alley right here. It's not as dark and as heavy as both of those films, I feel, but it definitely is in the same type of energy. There is a lot of adrenaline pumping in this movie from scene to scene as we're going through this, what I like to call in my review, a new youthful American odyssey. Can I trademark that? I don't know, but that's exactly how I feel. If you hear that anywhere else, it came here first, trust me. I haven't seen anybody say that about the film. But this truly is a movie that caught me off guard. I was with a lot of people, a ping pong movie, what is this gonna be, right? And it turned into something that I really truly appreciated, even hitting me hard at the very end. That third act is no joke, and what comes forth in that final scene that Timothée Chalamet presents to us is something that I haven't seen be pulled out from this actor ever since Call Me By Your Name. And that's saying a lot because that's still, I don't know, that's kind of my favorite performance from Chalamet. I think he really was able to pour his heart out, and he does the same thing here in Marty Supreme in a different manner and for different circumstances, but it's still such a beautiful and powerful scene to end the film on. The rest of the performances here are great, and I know it sounds like I'm glazing Timothée a lot, but I'm telling you, he really is presenting himself here as one of the next big great actors. Of course, he's done Dune and all of that, but I think this is the movie where he's really going to break through and become that household name that we've seen so many of his prior actors do in the likes of DiCaprio, Denzel, and also Brad Pitt, and so on and so forth. I'm very, very confident in that. I think Gwyneth Paltrow also gives a stellar performance here. She isn't in the movie as much as I believe she would be, but in the moments that she is, it's a great character arc for her as well, and I really did love it. I always say that I always forget how great of an actress Gwyneth is because I think in the MCU she was severely underutilized. Like her character Pepper was great here and there, but I felt like there was a lot more she was willing to give that she wasn't able to do so. In this movie, she goes all out, especially with the role that she has, which is so interesting, honestly, and I want to talk more about that, but that's going to be for spoilers. Odessa A'zion as well is great. She has more of a supporting role here in comparison to Gwyneth and is really more present in the film, so I'm curious when it comes to supporting actress how that's going to work, because it definitely, I think, is Odessa who definitely should be at the forefront. There is a scene in particular in this film between her and Timothée that was just brilliant to watch, and she is such a stellar actress. I wasn't too familiar with her. I had only seen her in Hellraiser and also in in the film Until Dawn, which she was great in both of those films, but you really don't see much of her, I would say, range from that. Here she's able to go all the way, and I was just blown away by this young actress because she is incredible, and I'm excited to see her future in more films. I think this is her forte for sure. I love seeing her in the horror films. I love horror and all of that, but I think these dramatic roles are where you really get to see what this actress can do, and it is just incredible to see. So I would love to see Odessa in some more dramatic roles like this. Now, of course, with his lame comments about AI and just being a greedy pig, Kevin O'Leary can get under a lot of people's skin, but I will tell you, he is a tremendous actor in this movie, specifically in scenes where he is back and forth with Timothée. You really get a sense that Kevin isn't really acting in the type of role he's playing here with this greedy person, and it really does exude itself well in the film. That's as much as I'll say about that before I get into spoiler territory, which I will once the movie's released on Christmas Day. Overall, I think that Josh Safdie really is keeping the essence of the Safdie brothers alive in this movie. I think that Benny Safdie does his own thing when it comes to the smashing machine and trades in a lot of what we know from the Safdies, maybe for something that he likes more personally, which is great because I really dug the smashing machine. I know a lot of people didn't. But it seems that Josh Safdie is still carrying that urgency, that sense of it's make it or break it that we've seen in other Safdie films like Good Time and Uncut Gems. And in Marty Supreme, it is no different. We see as Marty, the character that Timothée is playing, is trying as hard as he can to make his dreams come true of being a ping pong superstar. And he will stop at nothing. Trust me, nothing is going to stop him. And you see it. Every single scene is back to back to back. And this movie is a pretty good runtime over 2 hours, but it doesn't feel like it. It honestly flies by because you see this character jump in from one situation to the next, and as outrageous, as outlandish as you may think it is, it doesn't matter. You are there glued to seeing where he goes next and if he will be able to achieve his dreams. It is a movie about perseverance, but also getting lost in the sauce and just forgetting about the important things in life sometimes. I really love how that point is so, I would say, pronounced in that final act because it just hits you really hard when you really see it. The cinematography here is gorgeous. This is probably one of the best looking films of the last 5 years, in my opinion. It is just so beautifully shot and lit, and Josh Safdie does some incredible stuff here with the camera work as well, never letting you off the hook, really, for a movie that's just about a guy trying to become a ping pong master, which to some people that can sound kind of like weird or lame. This movie does a great job at being exhilarating and just as great as any sports movie that's come before it. And I'm telling you, this is my favorite film of the year so far. I still have it at number 1. I have about 2 or 3 movies to watch before I've watched pretty much all of the major releases that will go on to be in award contention. So I probably will have a final list, and I just don't see this movie coming down from number 1. If possible, maybe it goes to 2, but I just don't see it. I don't see it. This movie is just brilliant from beginning to end. It is a must-see. I am telling you, Timothée Chalamet, his year is next year. Without a doubt in my mind, he is winning Best Actor at the Oscars. So we'll see what happens. But that's just my opinion on the film. I don't know what else the film could get nominated for besides the Best Actor role. Like I said, I think Odessa was great in supporting. I think Josh Safdie did a great job as a director, but it's a very stacked year this year with directors. So I just don't see that. But overall, I promise you, go see Marty Supreme on the biggest screen, loudest sound system you can find. It is that exhilarating, worth seeing. I know it's a movie about ping pong and all of that, but trust me, it is more than just that, and you're going to be surprised by this a ton. So let me know what you think about it if you watch in the comments down below, and if you're excited for it. But as always, that is going to do it for me. Let me know what movie you are most excited for in December. We are watching Five Nights at Freddy, so that's going to be interesting. And we still have a couple of other movies we haven't watched yet. So stay tuned for that. Follow us here for all things you love on the road to 50,000 subscribers. Let's get to it. I'll see you next time. Stay safe. Stay positive.